So in the last class we discussed about the theory of machines. I will go in brief about these things. So theory of machine is a subject where you are going to study the theoretical aspects about machine, whether the machine will have different types of loads, what type of loads are there, what type of forces will be acting on that machine, and how the machine will have all the properties, and different mechanisms are there in the machine, and that all will be helpful in building the machine with some inputs will be given to the machine, and output some power work and some effort will be reduced by the human, and finally will be getting some output. So this is regarding theory of machines, and we have discussed this course learning objective, why to study this subject, and what are different COs, 6 COs are there in this subject, and the syllabus also I had discussed in the last class, and these are the books which are there. So I told you I will give you the PDF book of SS Radhan. Okay, so we have discussed about machine. Okay, so machine will have a combination of mechanisms, or it may be simple mechanism that will have the definite motion to the parts, and also transmits and modifies the available mechanical energy to some desired work. Okay, so based on this, a machine will finally help you, reducing your human effort. Okay, so we had discussed on kinematics and dynamics. So kinematics will be study of relative motion between the two parts of the machine, and dynamics will involve the loading also. So with having force, one static force will be having statics, or if the motion, the study of forces when the body is moving in motion, it becomes kinetics. Okay, so that is the dynamics part, and next we will come to the plane of motion. Okay, so what is a plane of motion? So a body has a plane motion if all its points move in a planes which are parallel to some reference plane. Okay, so a body with plane motion will have only 3 degree of freedom. Okay, so what is this plane of motion? Let us understand. So suppose you want to move from one position to another. Okay, so that may be the linear along two axes parallel to the reference plane, and the rotational angular about axis perpendicular to the reference plane, that is example linear along x and y, x and z, and rotational about y. So this the reference plane is called as a plane of motion. So the plane of motion can be of 3 types. You can see there: translation, rotation, and translation and rotation. Okay, so what do you mean by translation? You can see in this figure. What is that figure? This figure is nothing but a slider crank mechanism. Okay, this you will be studying the entire slider crank mechanism in detail in the coming topics. Okay, so you can see there how this slider crank mechanism is arranged. You can see, I will come to that in the next topic also. So translation means a body has translation if it moves so that all straight lines in the body move to parallel position. That is a rectilinear translation is a motion wherein all points of the body move in a straight line path. That is example, the slider in the slider crank mechanism has rectilinear translation in link 4. Okay, so you can see, I'll just give you an example. I think all of you have seen piston. I think you are familiar with piston. In IC engines, you have studied first year EME, you have studied the engine part. What happens in piston? Anyone randomly can unmute and just answer. What have you seen piston and how it is going to oscillate? Anyone just unmute and tell about this.
Yes, reciprocating motion converts into rotary motion, sir.
Yes. Yes, Santosh, you are telling something.
The reciprocatory motion converts into rotary motion.
Reciprocating motion. No, I am asking what is the motion of a piston in a cylinder?
Translation motion from
Yes.
TDM
Yes,
to
yes.
cow
So
head
it is,
center to bottom center.
yes, it is having the translation motion. I don't want much explanation on thermal part, so we are just discussing the movement. This is very simple understanding. So you can see in this figure, concentrate on this figure. I am just zooming this. Okay, so you can see the figure. In this figure, what you can see, there are 4 numbers in this. How to assign the link numbers I will tell you later. So just you can see there are numbers given to this. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. This fourth one is the slider. Okay, I'll just give you some marking on this so that will more. Okay, so in this figure you can see the fourth one. The slider, you can see the slider is going to slide on this. You can see the axis here, and the slider is going to oscillate in this direction. Okay, so when the rotary motion is there on this link, so this is completely fixed on this hinge, and when the 2 number, that is, this is the one link, that link I will discuss in the next topic now. So if O2A is rotated with this motion, with circular motion from this 2 link O2A, so this will have the rotary motion, and this will push this third number from, that is A to B connection. So this 3 is going to have the, so also the motion, this will rotate and this will push this, and when this is pushed, this slider is there, that is going to reciprocate. So this acts like a piston. So your piston is nothing but a type of arrangement of engine, is nothing but a type of slider crank mechanism. So in slider crank mechanism, the rotary motion is converted to reciprocating motion or vice versa. Okay, so what happens, this is a crank. Suppose in an engine, this is the crank, this is the connecting rod. So 2 is nothing but the crank, 3 is the connecting rod, and 4 is the piston. So in this figure, the 2 will be nothing but the crank, 3 will be the connecting rod, and 4 will be the slider, that is the piston. So when O2A rotates in rotary motion, this slider or piston, fourth one, is going to have the reciprocating motion. So whenever you want to get a rotary motion into reciprocating motion or reciprocating motion into rotary motion, you can use the slider crank mechanism. Okay, so in this we have 3 different options. What is the word translation? Translation is nothing but a type of reciprocation, means it is moving from one position to another. Okay, so like this in the fourth number, that is a slider, this is having the translation motion. Now you can see the crank here, that is link 2, the number given to O2A. This will have the rotary motion, this is known as the rotation. So that will be the second option, rotation. Now what will be both translation and rotation, third one? It will be nothing but the third one, that is connecting rod. Okay, that one is why I want to discuss about this figure. So this figure is very important, so understand this very comfortably. 2 is nothing but having the rotary motion, 3 is having both translation as well as rotation, because this is going to push this, and this will have translation also and a little bit of rotation also, and the fourth one will be completely having the translation motion. Okay, so this we were discussing. So next we'll go. I'll just clear it. Okay. Okay, so as you see now in this figure, translation, rotation, and translation and rotation, all the things are possible. So 2 is nothing but a translation, 2 is nothing but rotation, 4 is the translation, and the 3 is both translation and rotation. You can see now the link 4 in the figure 1 is translation. And next we'll discuss on this translation, in which points in a body move along curved paths, that is it is also called as curvilinear translation. Again, in translation there are two types. Rectilinear translation is a motion when the all points of the body move in a straight line paths. For example, you can see the slider in the slider crank. But in also curvilinear translation, the tie rod of the connecting rod, that is wheels of the steam locomotive, has a curvilinear translation. You can see this figure. So in this figure you can see the link 3, that is the center. You can this is the one wheel, this is one wheel, this is 2 number wheel, and this is 4 number wheel connected by the shaft with 5, and this is the connection from 2 to 4. So this is connected by one link as number 3. So this link 3 is having the curvilinear motion because this is going to rotate, 2 and 4 is going to rotate, and this will have the curvilinear translation. Because this is not going to move from this point to this point, this will be completely attached only this motion will be curvilinear. So as this will rotate, this will also be going to rotate. Next we have rotation. So in rotation, all the points in the body remain at a fixed distance from a line which is perpendicular to the plane of rotation. Okay, so this line is the axis of rotation and the points in which the body is described as a circular path. For example, in link 2 in figure 1, so I discussed that is the rotation. Or example, link 2 and 4 in the figure 2. So in this figure you can see the last figure, 2 and 4 is having the rotation motion. So you are understood what is rotation, right? So whenever there is a rotation motion, wheel is going to rotate. Okay, your tire example, your motion with the disc and all, this is having the rotation motion. So 2 and 4 is having the rotation motion. In this figure we can see 2 and 4 will have the rotation motion. So 2 and 4 in figure 2, and whereas in first figure what I showed, it is link number 2. Then translation and rotation together, combination of both translation as well as rotation, and which is exhibited by many machine parts. That is example link 3 in figure 1. Okay, so the connecting rod will be there, nothing but a good example for both translation as well as rotation. Okay, so this is regarding the three things: translation, rotation, and translation and rotation, all the combination. Okay, next we come to the links. So this is very important part. So first we should understand what is a link. Okay, so link or element, it is the name given to any body which has motion relative to another. Okay, so all materials have some elasticity, and a rigid link is one whose deformation are so small that they can be neglected in determining the motion parameters of the link. Okay, so you can see the figure. One is having a first one is having only a small single link, whereas in the we can see there are only 2 points in that. In the first link, that is known as a binary link which is connected to other links at 2 points only. You can see the figure A. So this is having only 1 point and this is second point. So only 2 points are there. That is why it is known as binary link. And in ternary link, you can see there are 3 points. It is a type of triangle. So triangle will have 3 corners, so same way 3 points are there. And in figure C, this is quaternary link where it is having the quadrilateral type. It is having 4 points. Okay, so that one is known as the quaternary link. So binary link, ternary link, and quaternary link. Next comes the joint. Okay, so links are connected by joint only. So it is a movable connection between the links and allows relative motion between the links in a kinematic pair. So for example, pin joints and sliding joint. You can see this figure. So this is one link and this is one link, and these 2 links can be joined at this blue color, that is known as a joint. So you know what is a joint. When you fix 2 components, it becomes a joint there. It may be a welded joint, it may be bolted joint, it may be a pin joint. Any type of joint is given by a connected by 2 links only. So in this case, in mechanisms and in the machines and all, you can't make it completely rigid. So it is having a movable joint. This is a pin joint where you can see the mechanism, these links can move. Here only this will be fixed at this point, but if you give some force to this link, this will have some motion to the another link also. That's why it is makes a link makes a kinematic pair. Okay. So now we will discuss about pairing elements. So the geometrical forms by which the 2 members of a mechanism are joined together so that the relative motion between the two is consistent are known as the pairing elements, and the pair is so formed is called as a kinematic pair. So each individual link of a mechanism forms a pairing element. You can see in this figure, if two links are joined at the point, it becomes a pair. Okay, this is the joint, but this combination of two links together is known as a pair, and this pair is nothing but a kinematic pair. Okay, kinematic pair is very important for aspect, because you can see there are a lot of kinematic pairs, and how the connection is going to see, that will help you in understanding the mechanism. Okay, so these all things what I am discussing are the very basic things. You should know this. Okay, then only you will be more comfortable when you solve the problems. How to find out degree of freedom and all will become very simple. Okay, so based on this kinematic pair, let us understand what is the degrees of freedom. So degrees of freedom is nothing but it is the position of the independent coordinates required to describe the position of a body in space. Okay, so a free body in space, you can see in this figure, can have 6 degrees of freedom, that is linear position along x, y and z axis, and rotational angular motions with respect to x, y and z axis. So in kinematic pair, depending on the constraints imposed on the motion, the links may lose some of the 6 degrees of freedom. Okay, so in this figure, so just I will explain on this. This is very, very important regarding degree of freedom. So just understand the concept here. So in this figure, you can see there are 3 directions here. So what are the 6 degrees of freedom possible? The body can move in x direction, it can move in y direction, or it can move in z direction. All 3 directions it can move, a body in space. Okay, and also it can move rotational with respect to one axis, x axis, rotational with respect to y axis, and rotational with respect to z axis. So a body in space will have maximum 6 degrees of freedom. Okay, so you take any point in a space, so a body only can move in only 6 degrees. Okay, so either x, y, z normal component, translation components, linear positions, or rotation about its own axis in x, y, z direction. Okay, so a body should understand how much a body in a space can move. So it can move only up to maximum 6 degrees of freedom. Okay, just okay, so you understood the things what I had shared now? Anyone can unmute and talk? Okay, Praveen answered yes. Okay, so I'll just play some animation. I'll not go much further also, because we have 2 classes today. I think after 1 hour I have one more class. So I'll go slowly so that you are more comfortable with the mechanisms. Okay, I'll just share one video here, so you can just see. I think, are you able to see? Just tell me. Okay, are you able to see? Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So just discuss some of the things in this. Okay, so you can just watch the mechanisms. See, now the carriages are there here. So in this it is moving in what direction? It is having the translation motions, right? So the yellow part you can see, that is having the interaction of this on the cylindrical part and having the contact surface. See here. So how the connection is there between yellow and this rod. So here it is having the, if this forms a kinematic pair only. So this yellow color and this shaft, whatever is there, this will form a kinematic pair. And what type of pair is this? This is not the direct pin or direct pair. It is a type of, it can be a type of cylindrical pair, right? This is a rod having a cylindrical shape. So this can be a cylindrical pair. Whereas you can see this is a bolt, okay? So bolt and having this as a screw, right? So this is a screw threaded. You can see the screw threading here. So this forms a type of a screw pair. Okay, this can be a cylindrical pair or a revolute pair. This can be a threading is there, so it can be a type of screw pair. Okay. So just I will show you. Just continue. So all type of mechanisms you can see. So in industry you can see lot of machines will have lot of mechanisms involved in that. See here in this you can see the contact is all having two types of contact. One is having the revolute pair also, and also cylindrical pair also, and also screw pair also. You can see in this inside all the type of pairs are connected. So you can see it is completely a type of kinematic pair when there is a rotation, revolute pair. This is also having a type of rotation, so this is also revolute type of pair. Now you can see the threading is there, so this becomes a screw pair. So see, the linkages and all these mechanisms can be connected in many formats. This is a type of gear attachment in terms of links attachment. So you can see in each and every machine you will have the different mechanisms involved. So you want to create in any machine, fabricate any machine, you need the basics about the kinematics. How the relative motion is there between the two parts. Okay, so these are the basic things which are there, how the pairing will be formed. Okay, so you understood how the different parts can be paired together. So I'll just discuss that again. I will start presenting on my PPT. You see the figures now and you will understand. Okay, so coming to the kinematic pair, this is very important. You just make a note of this also. So types of kinematic pair. Okay, in the question if they ask classify the kinematic pair with the help of neat sketches, you should be able to draw this. Okay, so the questions can be asked on this, classify the kinematic pair. So there are many types of kinematic pairs. We'll discuss one by one now. So based on types of kinematic, based on the nature of contact between the elements, there are two types. One is lower pair. Okay, what do you mean by lower pair? Lower pair is nothing but if the joint by which two members are connected has a surface contact, then the pair is known as the lower pair. Okay, if you can see this figure, what is having here? In this case, there is a contact between two parts, and this is having a surface contact, right? Completely surface contact. In this also, a shaft having this completely here on this bush, you can see this is also completely having the surface contact. So whenever there are two members are in contact with help of a surface, this forms a lower pair, also given by the symbol L, small l, lower pair. And then if there is a contact, a type of a point contact or a line contact, then it becomes a higher pair. You can see in this figures a ball bearing, you can see there are balls attached here. So this having the point contact. So points you can see on this, all there are points only on this ball bearings. You can see the cam and a follower in the second figure. This is also having a point contact. Even you can see in this meshing of a gear. So this is also having a point contact as well as a line contact only. So whenever there is a contact in the type of only point or a line, such as ball bearings or two gears in a contact, this forms higher pair. Okay, so just can you think of two examples with a lower pair and higher pair? So lower pair is completely surface contact, higher pair is only point contact. Okay, have you understood this? So whenever the mating is there on the entire surface, it is known as lower pair, and when there is only on the point, it becomes higher pair. Okay, these are the two classifications based on the nature of contact between the elements. Next we'll go with the classification based on relative motion between the pairing elements. Okay, so whatever I discussed now regarding the pairing now, I had shown you some animation now. You can see there are a lot of pairing like a sliding pair. You can see the first one, sliding pair. So any two components, if one body slides over another, okay, if you just keep your one book on your hand, okay, and slide over that, what you are doing? You are putting the book on your hand, the two parts are meeting in the form of sliding. When you slide the book on your hand, it is nothing but type of sliding pair. Okay, so sliding pair is constituted by two elements so connected that one is constrained to have a sliding motion relative to another. So your definition should be completely perfect, then only it is correct. If you miss the words relative to another, means you are 50% only correct, because if only you place on two parts and slide it, it will not be a sliding pair. It should have the relative motion also. Okay, because you don't have motion between two parts, then it doesn't have a common sense that it will have a pair only. Okay, so kinematic pair is only found when their body two parts are in contact and have a relative motion between two parts. Okay, next in the same way we have turning pair. You can see the turning pair is also known as revolute pair, and in this connection, when the connections are two elements are made in the way having the rotation motion with one part to another, so it becomes a turning pair. I had shown you in the figure. So you can see this figure, rotation of the shaft here, revolution of the shaft, this is having the turning pair. Okay, so for both the things, what is the degree of freedom? So I discussed now, degree of freedom is nothing but the degrees that it can move. Okay, so if you are walking, you can move in any place. You can rotate your hand on any part. Okay, you can just rotate you can just stretch it and all. Okay, so like that, what will be the degree of motion? So here only sliding pair is there, means only it can move in one direction. That is, if it is in x direction, only x direction it can move. We are not considering the plus or direction or minus. If just plus and minus is nothing but on the same axis. So having only one degree of freedom. Next, if you go to the second one figure, turning pair will have only one degree of freedom because it is having only turning option. Here it can't slide. It is only the turning. Okay. So you can see the rotation of shaft, what is only in the one direction. Only it is rotation. Here there is no translation. In the sliding pair, only sliding is there. There is no rotation. Okay, so each is having only one degree of freedom. Next, in the cylindrical pair, what it is having now, cylindrical pair, now it will be combination of both turning as well as sliding, because it is you can see in this figure also the shaft is going to move and also it is going to rotate. Okay, for example, in your some of your pens, okay, when you take a pen and with the pen cap and you just pen is there, no, sometimes it is directly fit, otherwise sometimes you have to move it and again put it, right? So pen and cap is also a good example. You have to use it as a cylindrical pair. Also when you use your refill, for opening of refill, you have a type of threading there, so that is type of a screw pair. Okay, so if you take a type of threading with a pen, what is happening? It is also rotating as well as it is sliding, both. so there you can see 2 degree of freedom is there, because it is having translation also and also rotating also. So this is a cylindrical pair. Next, fourth one we will see the rolling pair. So you can see the figure, ball bearing or a belt and a pulley. Okay, this is nothing but a rolling pair. So entire rollers can be used here, and it is having the rolling motion. So you can see in your floor mills. Okay, floor mill, what is there? You can mounted by belts, big belt. So for transmission of motion with this wheel to another wheel, belt and pulleys are used, or bearings can also be used. So this is all having rolling contact. So one is connected by rolling pair. Next, we have spherical pair. So spherical pair is having a surface contact and a 3 degree of freedom. For example, ball and socket joint. Have you seen your ball and socket joint, where it is there? That is your nothing but your hip joint. In hip joint, what you see in hip joint? You can rotate your leg. Because of the hip joint, you can completely move with all 3 degree of freedom, right? How it is to be done? You can move, you can rotate that entire with angle. Also you can stretch it also in 2 directions. Okay, so that is why it is known as a spherical pair. Can you give one more good example of spherical pair? Anyone? Just unmute and
Joystick can be an example of.
yes, joystick is good example. Best example is a bike mirror. Okay, that you are using it day to day life. Bike mirror, car mirror, what you do with that? Mirror is completely spherical joint. Why it is known as spherical? Because you can see there is a ball inside. So this is if you take a car mirror or bike mirror, that is having a ball inside it, and if you can rotate in any direction, that will be completely spherical inside, and you can move with all 3 degree of freedom. So bike mirror is a perfect example of spherical pair. Also your ball and socket joint, that is hip joint. Okay, so this forms a spherical pair, 3 degree of freedom. And next, helical pair or screw pair, you can see this is the screw pair. So that is nothing but a bolt and nut, a screw. Bolt and nut is a type of threading in a your pens and all, a screw and threading. You can see nut and bolt. So these are a very good example. We can see helical pair or a screw pair. So these are the few kinematic pairs based on pairing elements. Okay. So next, last one, based on nature of mechanical constants. Okay. So this is the third classification, last classification. So the a pair can be a closed pair or an unclosed pair or nothing but also known as forced pair. Okay. So the same figures I am using because it is nothing but type of similar pair. So you can see a closed pair means you can see the elements of the pair together mechanically due to their geometry. They forms a closed pair. You can see the 2 blocks are there. They are internally contacted, means they are closed, right? They are not having any open part. These are completely closed because the contact is in the form of closed pair. Whereas in this figure you can see the next one. This is unclosed and or a closed figure. You can see cam and a follower. So cam and a follower is nothing but a completely a open pair or a unclosed pair or a forced pair. You can see the follower is coming on that, load is coming on this. This is external force, and also it is nature is open. This is not closed, this is unclosed. Whereas this is first one figure is completely closed. Okay. So this unclosed figure pair forms the cam and a follower, and this becomes your unclosed pair. Okay. So based on the mechanical constant, this is the classification. So if the kinematic pair classification is asked, you have to list all these 3 types of classification and you can draw these figures. Okay. So these are the kinematic pairs which are there. Okay. So this I just gave some brief introduction about Yes, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
Okay, there was some
Hello, sir.
disconnection in that thing. I think, where did I stop? Because I just continued that
Helical pairs.
I didn't see the
Helical
screen.
pair.
Helical pair. Helical pair.
Helical pair, oh, okay. I didn't see the meet, and just when I came back, it was gone. So just I'll continue from there. Okay. So okay, I had covered this helical pair. This I had covered.
No, sir. Now I have to course.
Okay, okay, just I'll cover it. I think I just lost it. I was not aware of that. Okay. So based on the nature of mechanical constant, these are the last two pairs. So there are only three pairs which are there. So a closed pair is nothing but when the two parts or two type of elements are paired in such a way that they are mechanical due to the geometry, they form a closed pair. You can see in this figure
The
A,
presentation is not visible, sir.
not visible. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you are able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after that helical pair, we have third type of classification based on mechanical constant. Okay, I'll just extend some time. Okay, don't worry. Anyway, I'll leave you some in the next class. Okay, I'll cover it now only because again why to give some gap. Okay, just I'll continue here. Later next class I will just take half an hour, no problem. Okay, so based on the nature of mechanical constraint, you can see closed pair. You can see this figure. The two parts are joined such a way that the pair forms a closed pair. You can see it is having the sliding pair only, but it is completely closed one. So two parts doesn't have any contact. It is a closed one. Whereas in second one, it is an unclosed pair. Okay, you can see this is open. When the follower is having that motion on the cam, it becomes an unclosed pair. So this is a force applied on the cam by a follower. So it becomes a type of forced pair, or also known as open pair. So closed one, this is completely closed, and here it is completely open. So cam and a follower is a good example of a open pair, and that is unclosed pair. Okay. So these are the three main classification. If the question is asked on kinematic pairs classification, you can based on all the three classification you can give these figures. So these are basic general figures. So the same things I just covered now. Okay. So I'll stop presenting. Okay. Any clarifications are there? You can ask me now. Yes, you can unmute and ask me the questions. Yes, no one? All have understood everything? Yes, when I take the quiz, then don't tell me that you not understood. If you tell the wrong means, then it becomes difficult. You ask here only, then no problem. Otherwise, if you answer quiz and if you answer wrong there, then I will understand that you are completely wrong only. Why you are joining now, man? Yes, Pranav, why you joined now? Why so late? The class is over now. 2 have joined now. I can't allow once the class is started because I will be sharing my presentation and I will not get alert to accept it. So if you are late, you will not be allowed of the class because I will not be able to see. Okay. So 1 or 2 had requested. I think I had not seen that. Now I allowed it, but I will not be able to accept it. Okay. So still many are still coming. Yes, Chetan, why you joined now? Chetan. Ganigir, Chetan Ganigir. You should follow the timing. Okay, I will not able to accept it because I will be starting the presentation and I will not be alerting that how many students are again coming one by one. Okay, so you be in time from the next class. Okay, so I just basically discuss some of the basic things in the kinematic pairs. Okay, so any doubts are there, you can ask me, or I will start with the quiz. It will be just taking 5 minutes, but in the next class I will just leave you 5-10 minutes early, don't worry. So any doubts are there, you ask, otherwise I will start with the quiz. Same thing what I discussed now, same thing I will take the quiz. No doubts? And whatever I discussed today, again this will be a completely recorded one. So this I will be again posting in the Google Classroom. I have already recorded this lecture what I have discussed now. Okay. So I will close the recording and I will play the quiz and I will share this part in the Google Classroom. Okay. So I will